Hello everyone, this is part 13 of What If Naruto Was in Rosario Vampire, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Monday morning had come again. As he put his uniform on, he thought bleakly about what it would be like seeing the three girls in homeroom. Mizore he wasn't really worried about, she never said anything in class anyway and he couldn't imagine her causing a scene. By comparison, he could easily picture Kurumu or Mocha making huge scenes. Then again, he could also picture both of them trying to pretend he didn't exist. That was probably the best he could hope for now that he'd rejected their feelings. Seeing Mocha would definitely be the hardest part of dealing with the girls. In his head he understood that she really hadn't chosen to sleep with Jin. The worst thing she had done was to discount his pleas and ignore him for those 2 weeks. That he could have easily forgiven. But no matter what his head understood, in his heart she had betrayed him. He really couldn't look at her anymore without being reminded of the two of them lying on that table. It was hard for him to trust others and he had trusted her completely. And even though he knew the circumstances, he couldn't make himself just get over it. The sight of them, two of them, had shattered his heart and he didn't know how to put the pieces back together again. As he put on his jacket, he thought yet again about the QB's offer. It scared him how appealing it sounded. To just let the darkness win, to finally give up on his humanity and really turn into a monster, not just on the outside but on the inside. He knew he was already becoming a monster, his hatred, his anger, and his cruelty just kept getting stronger. Jin was just more proof of how easy it was becoming for him to do horrible things to the people he did not care about. It was caring that was hard for him. The idea that he could just stop caring had a strong attraction for him. He understood that if he said yes, and took that last step, it was forever. If he let the darkness consume him, he would lose his humanity, and he would never have the strength to regain it. Despite everything he'd suffered, all the pain and betrayals, he still wasn't ready to just give up. He still had at least a sliver of hope that even if he could not gain love, maybe he could find just a little bit of happiness. He wanted to still have precious people in his life, people who mattered to him. He didn't want to be completely alone. He didn't want to stop caring about everything but himself. But love, trust, no, those things only led to pain. He was willing to have some people be precious to him, people he would care about and protect, but he would not love or trust anymore. XXXXXXXXXX. As he went down to the lobby, he was surprised to see many of the others looking rather nervous about something. He understood when he stepped outside. There, waiting patiently, was Mocha. But not the sweet, innocent Mocha. The boys weren't crowding around to tell her how much they loved her. They were dashing past with their heads held down. They wanted nothing to do with the scary vampire. For her part, she seemed to not even notice them. Good morning, Uzumaki Naruto. Mocha, what are you doing here? Since we share the same home room, do you object to walking to class together? I ask only to walk beside you, nothing more. He stared at her. Mocha, I meant everything I said. I have not forgotten, Uzumaki Naruto. You stated that you could not be with me or love me. Does that also mean you wish to never speak to me again or deal with me in any manner? To be honest, I kind of figured that since we were broken up you wouldn't want anything to do with me. That's sort of the way it usually works, isn't it? She shook her head slightly. You are among the very few whom I have a connection to. I have no wish to completely sever the ties between us. I understand that you no longer desire me to be your lover or girlfriend. I am ready to accept whatever role you are willing to grant me. He just had to stare at her. He really didn't know what to say. He'd expected either to have the teenage Mocha ignore him or else have her hanging on him pleading for him to reconsider. He scratched the back of his head. I guess we can still hang out, I suppose. Just so long as you understand I don't feel anything for you anymore. Nothing at all? She asked coolly. Nope, nothing. I see. Before he could do anything, she grabbed him by his jacket and yanked him forward. Her mouth pressed down onto his in a savage and passionate kiss. After a few seconds she let go of him and stepped back smoothly. Looking at her she seemed as calm and detached as she had a moment ago. What the hell was that? He'd meant to sound outraged but somehow his voice came out kind of hollow. A slight grin touched her lips. You were blushing. That's not the point. Why did you kiss me? I wished to see whether or not you truly had no more feelings for me. I told you I don't care about you anymore. Liar. A low growl came out of his teeth. If you're trying to play some stupid game with me. She held out a hand and he stopped. This is no game to me, Uzumaki Naruto. It is entirely serious. You have told me your stance, that you care nothing for me. Now let me tell you mine, I still love you and so does my other self. I realize how deeply you have been hurt and that you are sincere when you say you do not want to be with me. I am willing to accept that, for now. But you should be aware I am ready to do whatever I must and wait as long as is required to one day be worthy of your trust again. You've got an awfully long wait ahead of you. He said dryly. That is all right, she seemed just a little amused. Vampires have extremely long lifespans. He looked at her for a while before finally answering. Don't try kissing me again. He headed towards school. She fell into step beside him. She made no attempt to hold his hand or put her arm around his. XXXXXXXXXXX. They walked together in a silence that was not comfortable. As they did, Naruto noticed the wide berth all the other students were giving the two of them. This reminds me of that time with the Jin. He said quietly. This is how I have always been treated in my true form. She looked over at him. As I told you many times, those boys who worship my other self were always bound to react this way. I never expected anything else. Why are you the one here right now? Naruto asked. She quirked an eyebrow. Did you not say you could not bear to look at my other self? Is it not easier for you to deal with me rather than the other mocha? That's true, he admitted. It is a lot easier for me to talk to you. But won't this ruin how everyone else sees you and the other mocha? They are not the ones who matter to me. As they approached the academy, there was a large crowd of boys gathered out in front. As they approached, they could see a certain girl dancing and jumping about to the approval of her audience. Yahoo! Kurumu shouted. Who do you love best of all? You. All the boys chorused. Seeing this, Naruto was greatly relieved. I'm glad to see Kurumu has gotten over me so quick. I guess what I said didn't hurt her that bad after all. Mocha glanced over at him. You really are an idiot sometimes. She muttered under her breath. He looked at her. Did you say something? I said you really have it right sometimes. She has obviously put you behind her. XXXXXXXXXXX. In the classroom, most of the students were staring nervously in Mocha's direction. Mocha, Nekonome-sensei spoke a bit uncomfortably. You do realize that the first rule of this school is to maintain a human disguise at all times. Why are you in your true form? I have decided to attend class in this form for the foreseeable future. My reasons are my own. She lifted an eyebrow. Will that be a problem? As she'd expected, Nekonome quickly shook her head. Occasionally there were certain benefits to being an intimidating vampire. From the back of the class there was loud high-pitched laughter. Oh Kito, you are so funny. I just love a man with a good sense of humor. Naruto looked over and saw Kurumu leaning out of her seat to flirt with four boys who were ogling her BS. Wow, she sure got over me fast. I guess she wasn't really that in love with me after all. Still, I'm glad she's all right now. Now then class, we have something very important to take care of today. With the school's annual cultural festival and other activities coming up, we need to work hard to organize all our efforts. Therefore today we will elect a class representative to join the academy school committee. Would anyone like to nominate a candidate? In the back row a girl raised her hand. Yes, Mizor. I nominate Uzumaki Naruto. Nani. Naruto hadn't really been paying attention. I too think Uzumaki Naruto would make a fine class representative. Mocha said. Everyone else fell into line supporting the nomination. Naruto was about to object when he recalled the headmaster mentioning something about suspecting a member of antithesis being on the school committee. He needed to find the leaders of that group and expose them. I haven't had any luck so far, maybe this will be a good way to investigate. Does anyone else want to nominate a candidate? I nominate Kurumu-chan, a boy said. Be quiet, Kurumu snapped at him. The boy immediately began to whimper like a hurt puppy. Please ignore him, sensei. Well then, if there are no other nominations, it looks like Naruto will be our class representative. Nekonome sensei said. Congratulations. XXXXXXXXXX. Yukari was staring at the adult Mocha with an open mouth. Oh, that's right, Naruto remarked. You've never seen Mocha in this form, have you? You need not be afraid, Yukari. Mocha said. Though I am a different and more serious Mocha from the one you know, I still remain your friend and will not harm you. Yukari was taking it all in, the long flowing silver hair, the blood-red eyes, and the sense of ominous power that hung over her. I think that I'm in love. I love you. Yukari leapt and tried to glomp onto Tomoka's chest. She ended up lying face down in the grass with a bump rising on her head. Do not try that again. Mocha calmly sat down at the outdoor table next to Naruto. Rubbing the back of her head, Yukari sat down as well. I thought you said you weren't going to hurt me. That does not mean you may grab onto my BS as you did with the other Mocha. The only one I will permit to do that is Naruto. He immediately turned a deep red. They weren't seated long before Kurumu came past leading 7 or 8 boys. The queen with her court. She trailed past their table talking and laughing, and making a point not to look at them. That blue-haired slut, Yukari said angrily. How dare she do something like that? It's all right, Yukari, Naruto said as he began to eat. She won't be eating with us anymore. Really? That's great. And since you two are finally eating together again, that means everything is back to normal, right? No, Mocha said quietly. I am afraid Naruto and I are no longer a couple. We are. She hesitated and looked over at him questioningly. He thought about it. Friends. We can try and be friends. What? But didn't you two spend Saturday making sweet love? What went wrong? Did that jerk Jin do something? A lot happened over this weekend, Yukari. Naruto said. I'll tell you about it later. Some of it I will. XXXXXXXXXX. Following class, Naruto reported to his first meeting of the Academy School Committee. Greetings, an older student with glasses greeted him. He had a friendly smile. I am Kaneshiro Hakato, president of the Academy School Committee. Hello, I am Uzumaki Naruto, class representative from freshman class 3. I have heard of you, Naruto-kun. You've made quite a reputation for yourself. You should know, we have never had a member of the student police committee join us before. We are all quite honored, though a few members are also a bit nervous. Naruto-kun. Yeah, I've noticed that the police committee has that effect on people. Naruto smiled at him. Are you of the ones I make nervous? Not at all. Actually, I admire you for your efforts to defeat antithesis. Is that so? Hakato nodded. Yes, that group is determined to spread violence and chaos throughout our precious academy. I am determined to stand firm against them and the threat they represent. I hope you don't think it sounds silly, but I dream of changing this school one day. I want this school to achieve real peace, and I hope that the school festival will help bring that peace a good deal closer. You're an idealist then. Hokuto nodded. I hope you don't find that silly. Not at all. Everyone should have dreams and work to make them come true. Really? And what are your dreams? Naruto gave him a wide smile and answered in a friendly voice. My dreams are none of your business. Startled, Naruto saw anger flash in the other boy's eyes for just a second. The friendly mask came back up again. I see. I apologize if my question offended you. No problem, and just between us, I don't think you'll need to worry much longer about antithesis. Really? May I ask you how you can be so certain? Well, everyone will know about it by tomorrow anyway. He spoke quietly. Kuyu has discovered one of their leaders. He will be making an arrest within the next hour. I'll need you to keep that secret, of course. Of course. Well, I guess I'll see you inside. Naruto headed into the building. Yes, I'll be there in just a bit. XXXXXXXXXXX. What was that? Hokuto wondered. Was he telling me the truth? If it was true, why would he tell me even if I am the president of the committee? But why would he tell me something like that if it was a lie? Was it a joke? Was he trying to impress me? He had to decide what to do with this possible information. Should he act on it or not? As president, if he failed to show up for the meeting, it would look suspicious. But there might be another way to deliver a warning to Mako and Kiria. He waved over a representative who had just arrived. Mizuki, he whispered to him. I have a job for you. As Mizuki quickly departed, he did not notice as a crow took to the air and began to follow him. XXXXXXXXXX. As the meeting ended and the various members went their own ways, none of them noticed as crows and rats began to trail them. When Naruto finally got back to his room, he saw a crow waiting outside his window. He opened the window to allow the bird to enter. Once it was inside, there was a puff of smoke as the hinge dropped and the shadow clone again became a copy of himself. Anything interesting? The original asked. Maybe. The clone answered. Show me then. The clone vanished with a puff of smoke and the original immediately got all the memories of the surveillance. As soon as he'd been chosen for the school committee, he'd wanted to follow all the members and see if he could find anything suspicious about any of them. Following all of them with shadow clones would have been difficult, but rats and crows were common and drew no suspicion. Going over the clones' memories, he smiled. This might be something. X. In the village of Konoha. You wished to see me, Hokage-sama. Jiraiya noted that the Hokage seemed to be in an unusually positive mood. I did indeed, Jiraiya-san. I have just received a most encouraging report and wanted to share it with you. He handed the file over. As soon as Jiraiya saw who the report was on, he read with interest. 3 tails. He's already accessed that much power since I visited him. The Hokage nodded. At this rate, it seems likely he will have accessed the Kyuubi's full power within a year. Hokage-sama, please limit your expectations. While it is certainly surprising he could gain this much power in so short a time, we cannot expect this rate of growth to continue. Each new tail increases his power level exponentially. The 2-tail state is twice as powerful as the 1. The 3-tail state is twice as powerful as the 2. As the sheer volume of chakra increases, he will find it more and more difficult to maintain control. Nevertheless, it now seems clear that my decisions regarding him were correct. Both by sending him to that academy and having that seal placed on him, he has been motivated to acquire the Kyuubi's power. That is what scares me, Jiraiya said. He's definitely motivated, all right. You still have concerns about his loyalty. Damn right I do. That kid has no reason to love us, just the opposite. Like I already said, Kami help us if he ever gets that seal removed. I have faith in the loyalty created by the seal. I also have faith in your unquestioned skill. He will serve Konoha because there is no other option for him save death. However, I agree with you that it would be best if he wanted to serve of his own free will. There's no chance of that now. I am not so certain. So far he has only seen the negative aspects of serving this village. Perhaps it is time he was shown some of the positives. He is 16 and of an age to both inherit and marry. I will authorize you to reveal his identity to him and what I intend once he returns. Jiraiya looked at the Hokage in surprise. Are you sure, Hokage-sama? The Hokage looked back also surprised. You are the one who has been arguing for more humane treatment. I thought you would have supported this idea. I just think it would be better to wait until his return to the village. Finding out the truth of his heritage will be quite a lot to take in. True, and hopefully it will provide him with even greater motivation. In addition to taking certain docents with you, you will be escorting someone. XXXXXXXXXX. Naruto was sitting at a small desk at the student police committee's headquarters. In front of him were 3 student personnel files. One was of the student committee president Hakato, one was of class representative Mizuki, and the last was of a mysterious third-year student named Kirya. Hakato and Mizuki are both definitely members of antithesis, and given Hakato's position, he's probably one of their leaders. Let me arrest them and find out what they know. Kuyu frowned at him. What is your reason for suspecting them? The second I met Hakato, there was something about him I didn't trust. I've been wearing one sort of mask or another all of my life. I can spot some easily, and I knew Hakato had one. I insulted him and he let it slip for just a second. Beneath that cheery and wholesome image is someone with a whole lot of anger. And that is when you set your little trap. Naruto nodded. The fact that he had this Mizuki deliver a message to someone is proof that all 3 of them are members of antithesis, and I'll bet that Hakato and Kirya at least are high-ranking members. Kuyu considered it, and regretfully shook his head. I am afraid it is not enough to arrest Hakato or Mizuki. Why not? Naruto said, frustrated. You arrest students with nothing but suspicion all the time. I bring you real evidence and you won't let me touch them. Hikato and Mizuki are members of the Academy Student Committee. Unfortunately, this places them in a category similar to the faculty. If we were to arrest them without significant evidence, the student committee would come after us and the headmaster might order us to disband. I will not risk this organization for any reason. Let me talk to the headmaster and tell him what I have. I'm sure he'll okay my arresting them after that. Unfortunately, the headmaster is not currently at the academy. When he returns, I will inform you. Talk to him by all means. If he gives his blessing, you are free to do as you like. But until then, you may not touch them. How long until he gets back? I have no idea. He often disappears for weeks at a time. Well, that's just great. I finally get a break and I can't do anything. You are free to arrest this Kiryu. Naruto shook his head. I sent out some of my disguised shadow clones to keep an eye on him. He has disappeared. He hasn't gone to class and no one has seen him since yesterday. So, the one I can arrest I can't find. The ones I can find I can't arrest. It sounds like a comedy routine. You are free to continue with your investigations until the headmaster returns. But you are not to touch either of them unless I okay it. Great, he muttered. Through the open door, Kito entered. Naruto has a visitor. The dark-haired woman frowned as Mocha entered the room on her heels. Mocha, what are you doing here? I was curious why you did not meet me this morning and why you were not at school. He quickly closed the files that were on his desk. I'm in the middle of an investigation. I don't have time to waste on classes right now. She glanced down at his desk. I see, and of course you no longer trust me. You did tell me once though that you had to pass your classes. If you miss too many of them, you may be in danger of failing. That's not a problem, Naruto said. The police committee members get a free ride as far as grades go. I cannot even show up and I'll still pass everything with a B. That is absolutely necessary in order for us to maintain the peace at this academy. Kito said in annoyance. Anyway, when I was first told about it, I decided to keep attending class as I didn't want any special treatment. He looked directly at Mocha. I also wanted to see you as much as I could. But now I think I'll stop attending, though I'll still go to club and have lunch with you and Yukari. Free here on out, my priority is to gain more power as fast as I can. So you will be spending the majority of your time training with Kuyu or working on your investigation? Mocha asked. That's right, so we won't get to see each other very much from now on. I see. Mocha turned to Kuyu. In that case, I wish to join the student police committee. Say what? Naruto said, stunned. No way. Absolutely not. That is not your choice, Kito said coldly. Kuyu is our leader and he alone decides who is a member. You would not be here otherwise. Kuyu looked over at Mocha carefully. Why should I allow you to join? I think that fairly obvious, she said coolly. You pride yourselves on the fact that only the most elite are permitted into your group. I am a vampire, the most elite of all monsters. HMPH, I wouldn't say that, but there is certainly no denying that you are near the very top. If I allow you to join, I expect you to carry out any orders I give you and be an active member of the police committee. Now wait just a minute. Naruto tried to intervene. Very well, however, I expect to be Naruto's partner on any investigations or assignments you may require of him. Kuyu simply nodded, not surprised in the least by her request. That's fine. Welcome to the student police committee. XXXXXXXXXX. Where have you two been? Yukari asked as they had lunch. We have been busy with work on behalf of the student police committee. Mocha replied. What? Yukari said in surprise. I knew Naruto was a member, but since when did you join? Since this morning, Naruto has decided to stop attending classes and concentrate instead on training and his duties within the police committee. I decided to join in order to be able to assist him. So neither of us will be attending class anymore. What? You're not going to be in school anymore? She seemed on the verge of tears. But I'll less of loneliness without you too. It's not that bad, Yukari. Naruto tried to calm her. We don't have any classes in common anyway. I'll still come here for lunch every day and I'll still go to a club, so we'll still see each other about as much as we do now. That news seemed to make Yukari feel much better. Several tables over there was a loud, ooh, as Queen Kurumu's court marveled at the way she was bouncing up and down in her seat. There was also a stir coming from the opposite direction. Who is that? Wow, what a beauty. Is she a new student? Please marry me. So is the old guy her dad. What? An outraged voice called out. I will have you know I am none other than the legendary Jiraiya, famed toad sage and master of the ninja arts. Can you introduce us to your daughter, sir? Many similar pleas followed. The second he'd heard that voice, Naruto's head had snapped around. Sure enough, that old pervert bastard was walking towards him. I really am Kami's chew toy, aren't I? He was so upset at the sight of Jiraiya he barely noticed the young woman who was nervously walking behind him. What does he want? Mocha said angrily. Probably to tell me the Hokage needs me to donate a kidney or something. Naruto eyed the two of them as they came near. He finally noticed the girl. She obviously had to be someone important. She was wearing a beautiful silk kimono that was a light lavender with a pattern of various flowers. Her hair was a dark blue and it was done up. Her eyes had no pupils and were of a lavender a shade or two lighter than her kimonos. Looking at the girl, there was something vaguely familiar about her. When she saw him looking directly at her, she began to blush and press her index fingers together. She seemed very shy. Naruto couldn't deny she was very cute. Naruto, Jiraiya boomed out. Good to see you again. What do you want, pervert? Jiraiya's smile fell and he sighed. Still angry, I take it. What was your first clue? So what do you want? Jiraiya's eyes were drawn to the exotic beauty sitting at Naruto's side. Who is this? Would she happen to be your girlfriend? The girl in the kimono flinched a bit at hearing that. I am Akashia Mocha and I am Naruto's former girlfriend and current friend. She eyed Jiraiya menacingly. You should know I will not allow anyone to harm him. Harm him? Yukari asked. I thought they were friends. No, Naruto said. We are definitely not friends. Now, no need to be so hostile, kid. I'm here to help you. That's what you said last time, you bastard. Jiraiya sighed. I realize you don't really trust me, but I am here on orders from the Hokage. We received a report that you recently entered the three-tailed state. Damn the headmaster. I thought he was supposed to be helping me. I have, that is the whole reason I'm here, right? You want a powerful weapon. He glanced at the girl standing behind Jiraiya. Through the entire conversation she had been shyly looking at him. Who is she and what is she doing here? Jiraiya grinned and motioned her forward. Ah, well, she is a very big part of why I'm here. The Hokage thinks it would be wise for you to see that serving Konoha will not simply be a labor. He wants you to understand that you will be given a high place within the village and given many considerations. Now I believe you two have met before. The girl took this as her cue and gave Naruto a deep and graceful bow. It was only too obvious that whoever this girl was, she was very cultured and refined. Naruto-san, she said in a low and gentle voice. I am so very happy to see you again. I always wondered if you were safe and am very glad to see that you are. He stared at her, feeling a bit embarrassed. I'm really sorry, but have we met? Crushing disappointment filled her face. You don't remember me. I know it was a long time ago and we didn't really know each other long, but, she looked down and began pressing her fingers together again. Something about her stance or the way she was pressing her fingers awakened a memory. Hey, I think maybe I do remember you. Were you in my class at the Ninja Academy? You had short hair back then and wore this big beige jacket, right? Her head came up again and bright smile lit her face. That's right, she said happily. You do remember me then. I'm so glad. Yeah, well, I just remember a little. I was only there for a month. He had only the vaguest memory of a dark, quiet weirdo who would stare at him while pressing her fingers together. I am sorry, but I don't remember your name. Well, in that case, let me formally introduce the two of you. Jiraiya said. Uzumaki Naruto, this is Hyuga Hinata, Jonin, an accomplished medic nin, eldest daughter of the 5th Hokage and the designated heir to the Hyuga clan. She is also your future wife. For just a second that last word hung in the air. What? Mocha jumped to her feet, furious and radiating intent as well as powerful amounts of demonic force. What? Yukari jumped up, clutching her wand and glaring angrily at the newcomer. What? Mizore jumped up from behind a bench and spat out her lollipop. What? From several tables over, apparently succubus have very good hearing. Kurumu leapt up and screamed, scaring her adoring slaves. Naruto gulped and looked about nervously. You're really trying to get me ked me today, aren't you? That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.